Hi, this is Nik Laming, coming to you from Chicago at the Loyalty Summit 2024, and I've got the pleasure of being joined by Alyssa, who's VP of Marketing at TravelCenters of America. But from the brief discussion we had before we recorded this, we've got some quite a background to uncover. So maybe you could tell us a bit more about yourself and your background.
Yes. Hi, thank you for pulling me in here. I'm so excited to share more. And I'm excited to be here. And I think I currently am leading marketing at TravelCenters of America, which is a BP company. So we're really in the fuel and mobility business. And I'm probably a little bit of the odd man out at this conference, but for me, it's a very close fit to when we think about travel rewards and hospitality rewards. And that's something I've worked on in different businesses over my career as well. So it's great to be here. And I think...
Can you tell us a little bit more about maybe bring the business to life, TravelCenters of America, because it's a little different.
Of course. So I'll tell you why I feel like we're a hospitality company. So TravelCenters of America, we are really a travel center and truck stop, and we are based off of key highways, really right off highway exits across the country. So we're in 44 states. So when we think about the rest of our portfolio in a BP gas station, you may have those in your neighborhood. That's a little bit of a different customer. We are really focused on the highway traveler. So that's the road tripper, the RV driver, the family on vacation, and of course the professional truck driver. And for professional truck drivers specifically, they do sleep in our lots. So we have hundreds of thousands of trucks in a given month sleeping in our lots. They're overnight. They come in, we have showers, full service showers. We have game rooms, we have big screen TVs and massage chairs for them. They can do their laundry, they can pick up their Amazon packages, they can get their truck serviced. So we do full service maintenance at many of our locations. And we also have restaurants, so they can eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner with us. So we're almost sort of a hotel, and that's the perspective I've brought into this company, that we're not just a truck stop, we're really in the hospitality business because we want to be their home on the road when they're away from their family.
Yeah, so it's like a hotel chain, but without the rooms. They bring their own room.
They bring their own room, yep. Yeah. So how can we make that experience better and help them be loyal?
Yeah, no, I did have the I guess the good fortune, but misfortune at the time of visiting one of your travel centres, because I broke down on the highway towing a travel trailer. So I ended up in one of the facilities, and they were great. So
yes.
Always good news to hear from
yes.
a accidental customer.
No, I love that. And maybe you're not an accidental customer. Maybe next time you're on the highway, you'll say, I should pull off and get fuel and a snack there.
And revisit the people that helped me out so much.
Yeah.
So, and the other thing that I really would like to get into is that you're at TravelCenters of America now, but formerly you've done a variety of roles and very, very different organisations. Yes. So maybe you could share some of that and how that's influenced what you're doing today.
Yes, absolutely. And I think so. TravelCenters of America, we have a really robust loyalty program for our truck drivers today. Loyalty is a huge focus for the organization as a growth mechanism. So me coming into this role, having a strong loyalty background, which I'll get into, is really important because it's not just about the brand marketing and advertising and digital that my team does, but really how do we take loyalty to the next level, which I know goes across industries. I think any company you work for, loyalty seems to continue to be a strong priority, and that's the way that it should be. But before TravelCenters of America, actually, if I go all the way back, so I've really been in loyalty marketing or CRM for my whole career. So really, I'd say about 15 years now in that corporate space. I started in retail. So I worked at Aeropostale, which is a teen retailer. I started back in 2009. And then I went from there to Toys R Us. So early career, really working on that traditional brick and mortar loyalty program. And I can share kind of some learnings there. And then I made a big jump to hospitality at the time. And I've always kind of chased what's next. So I think Toys R Us, Aeropostale, when you get to a point where the company isn't continuing to grow, you start to lean on loyalty almost to save the business. I'm a firm believer that loyalty makes a great brand better. It makes good customers better. And if you're not investing in having clean facilities, great guest experience, great products, you can't slap a loyalty program on top of it and expect it to grow. So Retail was at a difficult spot back then. Amazon came in and really was so advanced in the digital space. I think some of these smaller retailers couldn't keep up. So I wanted to grow. I wanted to continue to do loyalty, and hospitality loyalty has always been something that's fascinating to me. Because when you look at the hotel and airline programs, they're so complex yet easy to understand, and just the level of benefits and personalization they've been able to offer is really unique. So I moved to Wyndham Hotels, and I had several roles there, really all sort of in the loyalty and CRM space. And I was there through the pandemic, which then, as you know, the pandemic hit the hotel industry in a very difficult way. So I made a big jump to L'Oreal, completely different company. So really going into CPG and e-commerce, so online businesses for L'Oreal's luxury brands. Again, focused on CRM, but really what's the loyalty program and how do we use loyalty to grow the brand. So I'll dig a little bit more into each of those experiences and how kind of I was able to apply learnings across each jobs using these fundamental loyalty principles and learnings that I've used, and how I think loyalty is so unique as a skill and as a career path, because you really can jump across industries, and many of the tactics that we use, if you understand customers and behavior and data, you can apply them with a new lens pretty easily. So luckily I've been able to do that.
Yeah, I think
to learn about a lot of different types of brands.
Pretty good example of putting that into practice.
Yes.
So tell us, what does loyalty for TravelCenters of America look like? What is it? What we'd expect from a typical hotel or airline program, but in a different environment?
It's very different, and it's interesting because our competitors really are the truck stops as well. And I'd say all of our programs are pretty similar, which you find in hotels too. I think if you look at Hilton and Marriott, a Wyndham, pretty similar in terms of rules and program setup. Our program is set up differently, but it's similar to our competitors in the travel center space. And one of the ways that we're different is really the frequency. So our status goes monthly. So you have to earn into the next tier in 30 days. And if you don't maintain it for the next 30 days, you drop out. So
gamification,
much quicker turn. There's no, you've earned your status and then you get it for the entire next year, and you have to continue to accrue those days to keep your status the following year. 1 month turnover. So very quick. A lot of that is based on frequency. So there is an audience that supports that, that's coming in that often. There's certainly an audience that's not. And I think that we're looking at ways where potentially I could adopt more of these hotel program structures, if it's rolling that over or extending it or pausing your accounts, because there are truck drivers who are very active on the road and they're employed and going out there weekly. There are some that need to take a week off, or the load got canceled and they're really penalized because they'll lose their status and it may not be their fault. So I find just the status threshold being so much shorter really fascinating. And I also find really, I'd say the point structure is still very generous. So I think retail programs, really generous. I think in retail, we're usually at about a 10% back. When you get into hospitality, airlines, credit cards, you're in that like 1 to 3% back. So we're still at that 10% back. So it's a pretty generous program in terms of points, which I feel very strongly about not taking away, but we have to figure out how to make that work financially over time.
And is that because a lot of your business is essentially retail, and that you're selling services, but you're also selling, I assume, products? And
Yeah, so we sell fuel. So diesel fuel, gasoline fuel is our primary product that we sell. We also then sell food in our restaurants. We sell convenience stores, so a full service convenience store with snacks, drinks, tobacco, anything they need. We sell truck service. And then we also sell showers, and we also sell parking. So you can reserve your parking or get upgraded parking as well. So all of those things you can earn and burn throughout. Obviously, they have much different margins.
Yep.
So really the spread across something like that compared to a hotel stay, where you're pretty much within the same range of margins, you can imagine the margin we get on diesel fuel or a Snickers bar, very different.
Yep.
So just the mechanics of making that work financially, I find really interesting in this space. So how do we provide that value and that great customer experience, but also continue to make it support the business and get more people into it? So.
And now help me make the jump from L'Oreal to TravelCenters
Yes.
of America. What are the kind of things that you brought with you on your loyalty journey?
Yes. So one of the things I loved about my time at L'Oreal and that I'm finding applicable here is L'Oreal is a massive beauty company. I think many people don't know all of the brands that L'Oreal owns. I think there's 30 some brands in the US that we own, and I was focused on the luxury brands within that portfolio. So brands like Lancome or Kiehl's, which really had their own loyalty program. And I was focused on direct to consumer, so Lancome.com, Kiehl's.com, and having that customer join a program while they were making their purchase online. So a big jump there, but I think just thinking about the enrollment journey and how much simpler it is if you're doing an e-commerce website, you can really have access to that data and do the pop-up, you do the offer, join the program, you can check the box in cart and they join the program. So enrollment was much easier in an e-commerce program. And then personalization was really important in an e-commerce program. So really using loyalty to not just continue to reward you on purchases you were making anyway. So I buy this foundation every 6 months, or I buy this fragrance every 6 months, or I buy this eyeliner once a month, but trying to increase that frequency based on other products. So really looking at the data and saying, Alyssa's a loyal member, she buys fragrance every 6 months and eyeliner every month, but we want her to also buy this lipstick, and we think she can do that every 6 weeks. We have to build that into her loyalty journey as an upsell or give her bonus points or figure out what that looks like to help her buy that. One of the things I implemented at L'Oreal was actually from my background at Wyndham, because in the hotel program we see this points plus cash. So it's something we don't see as often in other industries, but I think it's something that consumers really enjoy. So at L'Oreal we were using really the same traditional structure that we had at Toys R Us or an Aeropostale, where you spend $100, you get a $10 coupon back or a voucher, or you spend $75, you get a $5 voucher. And we found that that gap between your first purchase and getting to that first threshold of reward redemption was too long. So a way to eliminate that without really costing you that much more is to allow them to use any increment of points they want for any dollar off, and putting that into an e-commerce program. So you can say, I have 100 points, I'm going to take $1 off, or maybe I could take 50 cents off. I could take $2.83 off. I can decide I can use that slider almost that you see at Wyndham. That worked really well for L'Oreal. And I think I'm thinking about that now as I go into this space. Does that make sense for our truck driver consumer or our four-wheel consumer as well? So I think one of the themes we always see in loyalty is the program easy to use, and what are the financials that can get them, it makes sense from a business standpoint, but also from a customer standpoint, they can get to that first redemption faster. We know once they've made their first redemption, they're going to be loyal, spend more, and come back more often, but many of them don't get there. And if it takes them too long to get there, then we've lost them. So I'm looking through things like that. We do a series of credits and point offerings at TravelCenters of America, but I'm trying to see kind of if I can use more of that e-commerce model or that pay with points that we see. I think is interesting. So it's a big jump, but I think
it's worth it.
What I find goes back and forth across a L'Oreal and a TravelCenters of America or even a Wyndham is really going back to what are the business goals and what are the goals of your loyalty program. So it's really about more active customers, better retention, more purchase frequency, and then balancing the promotional offerings with loyalty. So you're hitting your margins in a way that actually makes sense, and you're getting that incremental purchase for that discount back. So the balance of points, or everyone gets 20% off, or do we put all the promotions into loyalty, or do we do it in a different way? So there's a lot of learnings that go back and forth. I think every day I think of something, or I jog something in my memory from a past life and loyalty, but just the way that it's so connected, I find really fascinating.
Yeah, so the principles are the same.
The principles
it's
are really the
just
same.
adapting it to a new audience. And
Yeah.
how do you? It's a very different customer base that you're now
Yes.
looking at, and are the communications and the channels and everything different? Again, e-commerce is it's probably an easier way
Yes.
because it's set up for recognition and personalization.
It's,
How do you take that to the world of the trucker or the the driver?
No, it's very important because I think about all of the things I could so easily provide in an e-commerce environment. How do we get our team members in the field to really do those same things? Because with the truck stop or a travel center, we have no e-commerce, so it's all brick and mortar. It's all face to face. There's a part of that I love. I think coming back to that after being in a fully digital role, I find really rewarding because I think that human interaction really does drive loyalty. And when you have that availability, it almost is more powerful than the pop-up or the reminder on your screen that thanks you for being a platinum member, to have come in and a person says, thanks for being a platinum member, welcome back. So I have that ability to do that in a different way. But those touch points and those reminders and showing the customers that you recognize where they are in the journey, upselling them to the next reward. You're this far away. If you buy one more thing, you're going to get to your next reward balance, or here's your points balance, or would you like to redeem your points today on this? Would you like to join our program? When you can't do that digitally, the training and the staff engagement and the staff education of the program is crucial. So that's
fascinating.
It's been fun. Yes.
And it's been great talking to you. Thanks for your time.
Yes,
and,
absolutely.
Enjoy the rest of the conference.
Thank you so much. Yeah, it's a pleasure.
Thank you.